And the Yankees hope that he is healthy for the remainder of the regular season and right straight through the postseason.
And like David Wells, who worked last night, he is perfect so far at home this year. The Yankees have by far the best home record in baseball at 53-13, but they did lose 5 times in August here at the stadium, and they are also wrapping up a homestand tonight. And the Yankees on this homestand have gone a rather mediocre 5-4. Tim Raines in left field, Bernie Williams in center with Paul O'Neill in right, Scott Brocious, Derek Jeter on the left side, Chuck Knobloch and Tino Martinez on the right side. And it will be Joe Girardi catching David Cone tonight. Of course, last night it was Jorge Posada who caught David Wells, as David Wells flirted with perfection for a second time. He retired the first 20 Oakland A's before settling for a 2-hit complete game shutout. Of course, the A's were upset last night with the work of then home plate umpire Jim McKean, as McKean moves over to third base tonight. Ed Hickox is behind the plate. Jim McKean threw out both A.J. Hinch and Art Howe in the 6th inning, and it seemed to have an effect on the game, Ray. After that point, David Wells did not pick up a called strike 3.
And especially in the inside part of the plate. Joe Torre just sitting back and, as he said, not caring about the 116 or 117 victories. He's caring about number 100 and also the postseason play, not necessarily caring about the regular season. Greg, just a point about Ricky Henderson not on the lineup, and I don't know if we haven't heard anything specifically, but remember that when the tarp is drained, it's drained in left field. There's a lot of water, and that left field area is soaked. A lot of standing water, they spread it out, but it's still very wet. And I can only speculate that Ricky is not starting perhaps because of that. Unless we get further word, we really don't know, but he's definitely not in the lineup.
And the reason, of course, they do that is the drainage is much better out in that area of the ballpark, and you don't want it sopping up in the infield, of course. So Jason McDonald, who was just recalled yesterday, takes the first pitch of the game from David Cone. It is a fastball strike. After a 2-hour and 14-minute rain delay, we are underway from Yankee Stadium. There's a breaking ball from David Cone. He misses to McDonald. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So if that's the case about the water in left field, what does that say about Jason McDonald? Maybe younger legs?
Well, somebody's got to play left field, and they decided it not to be Ricky, as McDonald fouls that off, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. McDonald, of course, was sent down to the minors last week when the A's had to add a roster spot for Gil Heredia, who was going to start for a second time tonight. He won his first outing against Detroit in the first game of a doubleheader. McDonald fouls this one off, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The one thing about a rain delay, before the pitchers take the mound, before they actually start warming up, it's all right. It just means they have to think of something to do for another couple of hours. But the good thing, Cone and Heredia took the warm-up tosses as if the game started at 7:30.
Strike 3 called. Now, historically, when you wait 2 hours and 14 minutes to begin a game, it has a tendency to go very rapidly, Ray, as the umpires may get into it a bit. This is Jim McKean's strike zone from last night.
Well, check the height of this pitch. I mean, that's above Jason McDonald's waist. And that normally is a pitch that's not called, especially that high. And I think it caught the inside corner, but the height is something that the A's on the bench will be looking at more critically.
Looked a lot like the strike zone we saw from John Hirschbeck in Cleveland. It has been a sensational season for David Cone in all regards. He is clearly a top candidate for American League Cy Young Award. It would be his second. He also won one with the Kansas City Royals. That was back in 1994. 0-1 pitch. Ryan Christensen takes sharply to left field for a base hit. So the A's, who had to wait through 20 outs to finally get a base runner last night, get one tonight with batter number 2.
Hanging slider from David Cone. That's a perfect pitch for Christensen, who is waiting very well at the plate. Perfect pitch for him to hit as hard as he did.
They are booing at Jason Giambi as he steps in.
That's great. I love it. That's respect.
Giambi, of course, broke up the perfect game last night with a single as David Wells hung a curveball. And then later in the game, Mike Blowers had a clean, hard single to left field. Well, and Giambi takes ball 1.
Wells kind of established a pattern last night where he started the left-handed hitters, Giambi, Stairs, and Grieve, started them with curveballs, and I mentioned that to Jason and I asked him about it, and he said he switched in the at-bat in the 7th when he got the base hit.
And he's got another one, this one, right past the reach of Tino Martinez. Ryan Christensen goes to third base. So the A's, who did not score, of course, last night only had 2 hits. He had hits back-to-back here in the first off a cone. It's first and third, and only 1 out for the cleanup DH Matt Stairs.
Well, you have to take advantage of David Cohn if you have the opportunity to score some runs. Another pitch that was up, a little sinker that stayed up and just went to the side away from Jason Giambi. So he was able to hit that one hard.
Matt Stairs, who leads the club with 96 RBIs, and he's had a good road trip. 10 for 34. He's hit .294 on this so far 8-game trip. He lays off the David Cohn breaking pitch. We showed you that David Cohn has gotten tremendous support this year from his Yankee hitters, over 7 runs a game. He has pitched so-so in his last 2 outings, a couple of no decisions, and this one he misses with, and the count is 2-0 to Stairs.
David Cohn following David Wells is like you and me following Tiger Woods driving off the tee box, you know.
Here's a slowly hit ball which will score a run. From third comes in Ryan Christensen. Matt Stairs picks up RBI number 97 on the season. Giambi slipping into scoring position himself, and the A's have a 1-0 lead. Actually, David Wells went over to Jason Giambi after his base hit last night, Ray, and said, "Thank you." I was rather surprised by his comments. He said he never wanted to pitch a second perfect game. Of course, he threw one here in mid-May on the 17th against the Twins, only the 15th perfect game in history. And he said, "I don't ever want one of those again. It changes your life forever and puts too much pressure on you."
I think especially here at Yankee Stadium, with the way the fans started getting the game very early with David Wells, probably as early as the 3rd or 4th. Perhaps in anticipation of it happening again. That is a lot of pressure, every pitch.
Well, the A's don't have to worry about a no-hitter or a shutout tonight as they get to David Cohn very early. Ben Grieve, 11 for 31 on this road trip, .355. His last 5 base hits have gone for 2 bases as he takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the A's were scrambling during the 2-hour and 10-minute rain delay. In particular, their traveling secretary, Mickey Morabito, in case the game was called off, to secure the A's hotel reservations tonight. They did check out of their Manhattan hotel this afternoon before they came to the ballpark, anticipating a flight home after the game. Rain, of course, with the U.S. Open going on at the National Tennis Center in Flushing. There was no way they could return to that hotel.
Right.
Now the A's don't have to worry about that now as Ben Grieve fouls it off, and the count is 2-2.
Several of the guys down in the clubhouse, as I went down in one of our breaks, and said, well, I've got that sofa. If we have to stay overnight, find some place in the clubhouse and just stay there. One of the toughest parts of a traveling secretary's job is when something like this occurs. He is scuffling, trying to make arrangements if indeed it was going to be necessary to stay over. Let's hope we can get this game in and head home.
Count is 2-2 on Grieve. The A's have already scored once on the ground out by Stairs, bringing in Ryan Christensen. Giambi at second, and David Cohn pumps a fastball high. Even though neither one of these pitchers warmed up, Ray, this still has to be very disconcerting for both David Cohn and Gil Heredia to have to wait over 2 hours to actually begin the game. Three-two pitch is strike 3 called. A good one by Cohn, a breaker, and Ben Grieve goes down looking. The A's get a couple of hits and score a run on the Stairs ground out, and they lead 1-0 as the Yankees come to bat. The New York Yankees have the best batting average in the American League at .290. They have a couple of players challenging for a batting championship. Chuck Knobloch will lead it off at second base. Derek Jeter up to number 2 in the league. Paul O'Neill will hit 3. Bernie Williams has the lead by 6 points over Jeter and Mo Vaughn. Tino Martinez will bat number 5. Darryl Strawberry will go 6th, but Tim Raines in the lineup. Scott Brocious did not play last night, but he's in tonight against Heredia, and Joe Girardi is catching David Cone.
Angel Heredia making his second start as a member of the Athletics. He's faced the Yankees 5 times out of the bullpen. Fastball, sinker, changeup. He'll also throw a splitter. He'll throw strikes. Career record 21-21. And this year AAA 10-8, 367 and 1 average.
Jason McDonald is in left field for Ricky Henderson. That lineup change came just moments before game time. Ryan Christensen, who covers a lot of territory, in fact leads the league in putouts per game. He's in center. Ben Grieve in right. Ed Sprague at third, Miguel Tejada at short, Scott Spezio at second, Jason Giambi behind the plate, or at first base, pardon me, and A.J. Hinch is behind the plate. Chuck Knobloch will settle in for the Yankees. He's got 1 on the top of the first, and Gil Heredia's first pitch is a fastball strike. Modest numbers overall for Knobloch as far as the batting average. The 17 home runs, though, are a career high. He had 13 with the Twins 2 seasons ago. That was his previous best. Takes this one to right. Nice play by Spezio, and he'll throw out Knobloch. One away in the Yankee first, and that'll bring up one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. In fact, Derek Jeter was voted the American League Player of the Month for August, and he is our B.F. Goodrich in the groove player tonight. 17 home runs, breaking Frankie Crow's record for the most home runs by a Yankee shortstop, and he is just tearing it up of late to push the overall batting average to .333.
What's interesting watching him just as he set up the plate, and it's great to see hitters do that. Instead of Jeter just concentrating on the pitcher, you could see he was looking where Ed Sprague was set up at third base. He even turned his head to see if Sprague was going to move back.
They set up the middle, Ray. There's no question this young man is a very intelligent player, and he is an extremely hard worker.
He made a slight adjustment, too much of the inside-out swing. He felt that they were getting him out inside, and he made the adjustment. He's using the whole field now, but he's also able to pull the ball, something that he did not do last year as much. And it cost him in the postseason. That's something he worked on all winter.
And he began the year slowly in that regard. We may have an injury. Steve Sales, the A's assistant trainer, is out as Scott Spezio is holding his left knee, and that is the same knee, of course, that he tore cartilage in earlier this year. He had an arthroscopic operation performed in mid-June on that left knee. Ranging up the middle to his right to make this play. I think it may have happened on the Knobloch play earlier. Yeah, this is the play right here.
Yeah.
And then a moment later on the Jeter hit, he ranged up the middle. This is the Knobloch play, and you can see him grimace. So it is the play earlier, not the Jeter base hit. And that was the type of play, Ray, where he originally injured it. And Spezio is going to leave the game. And Rafael Bornegal is going to come into the game and play at second base.
I think what watching Spezio and talking to Steve Sales, he was trying to explain what happened. And with Scott, I think he doesn't realize that sometimes whether there's actual pain and it's hurting, or it's just part of the procedure, after the surgery, maybe some scar tissue breaking up. And he just wanted to clarify that, but Art House is not going to take any chances in putting in Rafael Bornegal. Well, that's 2 down.
Ricky before the game, knowing that it may be treacherous conditions, and now Spezio leaves very early in the game because of injury to his left knee. At least he tweaked it. Hopefully, as Ray mentioned, it's just the scar tissue tearing away, and a lot of times that will happen to players. Although Scott had that operation, as I said, in mid-June. He has had some problems with it over the last month or so.
Well, as Scott was saying the other day also, that as long as he plays, he's going to have some swelling, and it's going to take the season being over where he can rest it completely and get it strong for next spring. But as hard as he loves and as much as he loves to play the game, he wants to be out there.
Paul O'Neill had an RBI double, a two-run double early in the game last night to push over 100 driven in for the year. He is second on the club to Tino Martinez, who has 106. Heredia throws him ball one. Well, certainly when you wait through a 2-hour and 14-minute rain delay, you hope the conditions are such that the players are not going to do any undue harm to themselves. And that appeared, Ray, I don't know if that was directly attributable to the conditions here at Yankee Stadium or not. Probably not. It was just a standard baseball play. But again, when there is extra moisture on the dirt, it will get a little clumpy, and it won't give as much as it ordinarily would. Heredia will shorten up the lead of Derek Jeter. Yankees are second in the league in stolen bases. Heredia pitched very well for the A's in his prior appearances. This is his 4th overall appearance and his 2nd start. His first start came against the Tigers, and he did win that game, going 6. He gave up only 8 hits and a couple of runs. He struck out 4 in the game.
Got a few Yankee hitters, and you know the scouting report on Gil Heredia. No, he's going to be around the plate. It's just a matter of the type of pitches they're going to see. And the Yankee club pretty good at hitting strikes and using the whole field.
One pitch to O'Neill. Heredia does throw the fastball, a slider, a change, and also a good splitter. Heredia came up with the Giants 5.5 years in their chain. Then he went on to Montreal, did a year with Texas. Last year he split time with the Cubs farm system, and also later back to Montreal.
That's twice now that Jeter has actually leaned towards second when Heredia is thrown over.
Heredia is 32 years of age. They signed him to a minor league deal in mid-January. To the plate now, and Paul O'Neill. O'Neill takes strike 2. He came highly recommended, Ray, by Matt Stayers, who Matt has played in the Mexican Winter Leagues over the last 4 years. Heredia played there this past off season. Thought he had pretty good stuff. Now A.J. Hinch just wants to make sure what that stuff is and what order he's going to throw it. Matt is not going back to Mexico this offseason after signing his multi-year deal with the A's. He will move his family to the Danville area
and work out with Bob LaHill the entire winter and be ready to go next spring. Very healthy.
Heredia knocks it down, and he will throw out O'Neill. Jeter was moving on the pitch, so he's already at second base, where he says hello to Miguel Tejada. So O'Neill is the second out of the inning, and Jeter in scoring position. Nice defensive play by Heredia.
Those are the little things right there, just kind of the luck of the draw, if you will, because the ball hit right in the center of his glove and dropped straight down instead of him catching the ball, and it would have been an easy double play with Derek Jeter running.
Last night, Bernie Williams didn't wait long. In the second, he takes one from Tom Candiotti over the wall in right center field. A 2-run shot. The Yankees got 4 in the first last night. This gave them a 6-0 lead for Bernie Williams, home run number 21. And keep in mind, he also was out about a month, 5 weeks or so, with a knee injury, trying to win the batting championship, trying to hold off his teammate Derek Jeter. Of course, the Yankees had a very similar race like this in 84 when Don Mattingly and Dave Winfield finished 1-2. Mattingly won the batting title in 84 with a 343 average, and Dave Winfield finished number 2 at 340.
Don't count out Nomar Garcia Parra. 325. Granted, it's the last month of the season, but the way he swings the bat, wow. Mo Vaughn up there too with a very high batting average.
Count is 0-2. See if Heredia goes to a splitter here to try to put Bernie Williams away. Missed inside, and the count is 1-2. He's got one in the top of the inning. Back-to-back hits from Christensen and Giambi. Set it up for Stairs with one out to drive in a run with a ground ball. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and Williams fouls that straight back.
Good to see Heredia pitching inside. It's something that, especially with a left-handed hitter, you're concerned that if you pitch inside and make a mistake, 314 feet down the right field line, very dangerous. Think about also pitching away, letting those left-handed hitters just try to pull the ball and hit it straight away center. And I think the mistakes are made more to the outside. And so if you can pitch them in, push the hitters off the plate, you have a pretty good chance of getting them out.
I remember a few years ago, I think it was Tony's last year of 1995 when Tony La Russa was the manager of the A's. He was enraged one series because the young A's pitchers would not pitch inside in this ballpark. Derek Jeter at second base, and Bernie Williams strikes out, swinging through a high one.
3 outs, AJ.
Yeah, AJ. 2 hours and 14-minute rain delay. It's taken him a while. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're done. 1-0 A's after one. A run for 61. As soon as the record falls, we'll present a Fox Sports News special, breaking the record. Home run history. Stay with Fox Sports News for the most complete coverage of baseball's most thrilling summer in decades. And Mark McGwire hit a couple of home runs tonight in Florida. Earlier today, Sammy Sosa also hit a home run. McGwire now has 59 on the season. He has hit 3 home runs the last 2 games as Rafael Bornegal pressed into duty because of the left knee injury to Scott Spezio, is going to lead off for the A's. He's hitting out of the number 6 hole. Ed Sprague will follow, followed by Miguel Tejada. Bornegal straight back, and it's 0-2.
You know, by the way, Greg, all these writers and people talking about McGwire not having fun and enjoying this, I thought, and watching the press conference last night following the 2 home runs, smiling, answering the questions. I mean, the guy's having a great time with it. And I think the press conferences they're holding before and after the games probably helping out more than anything, so it's not a lot of one-on-one stuff, and makes it a little easier for him.
Well, now the attention is going to become even greater. It's very likely network television will begin to broadcast every one of his games. He could easily tie the record in 1 game, and he's already got 59 after hitting 2 tonight. Bornegal takes this one down the line, and it's still a ball and 2 strikes.
It's interesting that Bornegal is in this game because it was the first start. David Cone, the A's were down 3-0, put a couple of runners on base, and Bornegal, with the A's down by 3, sacrificed and moved the runners up. Ricky Henderson then drove them in. First runs Cone had given up in 18 innings. But that was a big sacrifice by Rafi, and here he is inserted in the game because of the injury to Spezio.
This one is caught. Soft liner taken by Derek Jeter at shortstop, and Bornegal didn't even have time to drop the bat. He is retired for out number 1 here in the second.
Guys like Jason McDonald and Rafael Bornegal, that's who has a tough time because they were sitting in the clubhouse figuring they're not in the lineup. Jason maybe because of the long rain delay, but a guy like Bornegal just said, well, game starts at 9:45, then he's in the game all of a sudden.
Another opportunity for Ed Sprague here. He is in because he has much better career numbers against David Cone than Mike Flowers. David Cone likes to work the outer half of the plate with that nasty slider of his, and he'll drop down with his Laredo. So a Sprague up closer to the plate than Flowers. It may give him a better shot. Well, he fouls that one off his foot, and he's quickly down 0-2.
Talking to Mike Blowers, and he said he cannot remember facing Cone that much anyway to really say what kind of numbers he had.
His hitless career against David Cone, 0 for 9. So Blowers, the former Yankee, watches. Count is 0-2. Just a piece. That is a fair ball, and Sprague is retired. 2 away in the A's second. Joe Girardi, who was sharing the catching duty with young Jorge Posada, makes the play.
Girardi catches Cone and Pettit. Posada catches the other 3. Girardi is a free agent at the end of the season. The Yankees do have an option, and he was saying that he figures he will not be here. They want to re-sign him, but be a backup to Posada. He would like to go and play someplace every day if he has the opportunity. So his future is uncertain right now. He'd like to pick up his 2nd World Championship ring.
And the other 3 in the Yankee rotation, of course, are David Wells, El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, and the struggling Hideki Irabu. He has not pitched well over his last 3 starts as Miguel Tejada takes ball 1. Tejada 5 for 27 on the road trip, and that has dropped his average to 232. There's David Cone right there, living on the outer edge against the right-handers. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike.
You talk about a young kid, wide-eyed, coming in to New York, seeing it for the first time. Miguel Tejada just didn't know what to do. Seeing all the bright lights, tall buildings. He also got in a taxi cab. He says, boy, they got me $45. Going somewhere.
Where was he going?
I think maybe coming out here. But Rafael Borrego is saying that everybody in the Dominican Republic, the only city they think about is New York. This is the city. And they get the opportunity to come here. They enjoy it.
El Duque. He knows how to ride the subway. $1.50. $3 round trip from Manhattan. Count is 2-2. El Duque having a brilliant year. The A's, of course, will miss him on this series. He will pitch Friday in Chicago. Andy Pettitte will go on Saturday. Andy Pettitte has had a rather mediocre year. Clearly, Cone and Wells have led this staff as Cone overthrows. And although it's early, Ray, Cone is a little fidgety on the mound. He does not look to be in real great rhythm right now. I think he has been adversely affected by the 2-hour and 14-minute rain delay to get this game started.
He's still nervous from last night watching David Wells. He was more nervous on the bench than Wells was on the mound, it seemed.
Well, did you notice that, like he did against the Twins on May the 17th when he threw his perfecto, David Wells went and sat right next to David Cone all night last night. And David Wells, so atypical of baseball players, he started talking about the perfect game right away, asking the guys, do you think I can do it? Can I throw a perfect game?
Well, the funniest thing, you know, the superstition as far as where a guy sits, Chad Curtis not only sat on the bench where David Wells had been sitting, but he also sat on his jacket. And Wells had to get him up off his jacket, get him out of his seat.
David Cone strikes out Miguel Tejada. He has struck out 3 through 2 innings of work at the end of 1.5 from Yankee Stadium, though he trails Gil Heredia 1-0. Thursday on Fox Sports Bay Area. Coming up tomorrow, Mo Vaughn and his tandem at shortstop, Nomar Garcia-Parra, will go up against Jose Canseco and the Toronto Blue Jays. Roger Clemens, a Cy Young candidate. Red Sox Jays tomorrow at 4 here on Fox Sports Bay Area. Greg Papa, Ray Fosse back with you. Yankees comfortably on top of the Red Sox. In fact, their magic number for clinching the American League East is 8 games. They have already rather quietly qualified for the postseason. They have assured themselves at least the wild card, although they had no idea about that race Saturday after their game. They just left here routinely, didn't know anything had happened. Got home, popped on TV, and found out that they were in the playoffs. Tino Martinez flies out to Ryan Christensen. Gil Heredia has pitched well to the first 5 New York Yankees, and now he will face their leading home run hitter in Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry has hit a couple of home runs his last 10 at-bats. He has hit those 24 home runs this year in only 264 at-bats.
Chili Davis still bothered by a rib cage problem.
Darrell gives it a ride to left. J-Mac will have room, it looks like, right up against the wall out there in Death Valley. And he puts it away for out number 2.
And that's what you want a left-handed hitter to try to do. Hit the ball out to 399-foot mark, the power alley in left center. Just a long fly ball, says Gil Heredia.
Tim Raines will step in. You were talking about Chili Davis. Of course, Chili has returned from the injury. He had an ankle injury that had him out just about all year. Missed 118 games, played the first 2, but he's still having a hard time swinging from the left side against right-handed pitching. So Strawberry DHs and Raines plays in left still. Quick inning, a 1-2-3 for Heredia, throwing only 5 pitches to get Tino, Straw, and Tim Raines. At the end of 2, it is still 1-0 A's. Greg Papa, Ray Fosse back at Yankee Stadium, 1-0 A's after 2. A.J. Hinch will be leading off here in the top of the 3rd. A.J. his first ejection last night as he broke his bat. Did not like one of the calls of the plate umpire Jim McKean, and then he slammed his bat down in disgust. And the bat actually broke into a couple of pieces. And A.J. turned, went back to the dugout like he was still in the game, and McKean threw him out for the fact the bat broke. There's Bernie Williams in center, retiring A.J. Hinch. 1 away in the A's 3rd. Giants, after a win today at 3-com, are off to Los Angeles, and they'll wrap up that series from Dodger Stadium on Sunday. We'll have it for you here at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports Bay Area. Chicago Cubs a winner tonight as Sammy went yard again. New York Mets, of course, are playing in San Diego again. There's a curveball strike from David Cone to leadoff man Jason McDonald.
That's a ball, even though he called the same pitch to Height.
He called it a ball, huh?
He called that a ball. That was a better pitch than he called McDonald out on.
Now let's see this one. You don't like that one either. A little bit high. 2-0 to Jason McDonald. Scott Brocious playing in at third base. Count is 2-1. Jason McDonald, the only call-up for the A's, with the rosters expanding on September the 1st yesterday, but there should be more over the weekend when the A's return home to begin the Labor Day weekend Friday night against the Devil Rays. Count is 2-2.
Well, Art Howe hands were so tied anyway. It was great to get another position player here. The A's were playing short with just 4 extra men. So with the call-ups, and plus the AAA club has kind of fallen out of contention for the playoffs.
That ball's roped by McDonald to right field for a solid base hit. So Jason McDonald, with 1 out, will run at first base. Gary Jones and J. Mack look across the diamond to Ron Washington, who is the A's third base coach, of course, and Ron is preparing for his winter. He's going to take over Art Howe's club in the Dominican Republic Winter League, and for Ron Washington, it'll be his first foray into managing. There's a strike to Ryan Christensen.
Already Ron Washington a little upset because he had Jason McDonald ready to go with him, but the team down in Mexico offered him twice as much money. So he said, where do you think he's going?
Well, Ron Washington played winter ball for 14 seasons, never in the Dominican Republic. That should be a good opportunity for him to try to manage. This guy's got a lot of baseball wisdom.
He'll do a good job.
0-1 pitch. David Cone again missing to Ryan Christensen. Christensen singled sharply to left his first time up. He advanced to third, and the base hit by Giambi and scored. on Matt Stairs' ground out. That's the only run of the game so far.
It's also great that Rafael Borrego recommended Ron Washington and Junior Noboa as a general manager.
Very close. Al Clark, the umpire at first base, says McDonald beat the tag of Tino Martinez.
Jason didn't look like he was going anywhere, but good call by Al Clark as J-Mac's hand was in there before the tag.
J-Mac's going now on the 1-1 pitch. It's a hit and run, and Christensen fouls it into the top deck. Ryan Christensen has developed into a pretty solid #2 hitter. He's had a good road trip offensively. 12 for 31 on this trip, including his single tonight. Goes to the off field very well. 1-2 pitch. He chased one there. Girardi will throw down. McDonald's back safely. Ryan Christensen strikes out, and there are 2 away.
Nasty split finger fastball there. Well, because Ryan could not hold up his swing on a pitch out of the strike zone. Look where Girardi set up. He is allowing for the break to go anywhere, and it's a splitter straight down into the dirt. You'll see a catcher set up in the middle, because you don't want to go to the corners for a split finger fastball because of the way the ball breaks so differently.
Well, he's got one of the best splitters in all of baseball, and when he gets 2 strikes on you, like they all do, they like to use the splitter. You've got to be ready. He changes speeds on his curveball so well. He'll throw a faster one, and that one he just almost like a changeup curveball. What a road trip for Giambi. Had 4 hits in Cleveland last Friday night. Couple of home runs. Hit 2 at the Jake. David Cone comes inside. After losing 2 out of 3 in Boston, the A's won 2 out of 4 in Cleveland. And if they could win this game tonight, they could wind up this road trip with a record of 4-5 against the 3 best teams in the American League. 1-1 pitch.
Not even waiting for 2 strikes to throw the split finger fastball to Giambi. And this is the great thing about David Cone, because he has such an assortment of pitches. He will start throwing them until he can get the one that's working. He'll go with that pitch, as he seems to be doing right now with a splitter, until the rest of the pitches get to where he likes them.
He has already struck out 4. Giambi pulls this one sharply.
It's interesting that talking about the 4 strikeouts back when Cone won the Cy Young Award. He credited Jimmy Key for teaching him, or Cone watching Key, and decided he was not going to be a strikeout pitcher any longer. But now he's back to the point where he has his capability of striking out guys, but he just wants to keep his pitch count down.
McDonald takes off on 1-2. It's a ball. Girardi's throw to second base is late, and Jason McDonald steals himself into scoring position here. The count is 2-2 now on Giambi.
He put a NC next to that one. No chance. Great job by McDonald. Cone has really never had a great delivery to the plate as far as speed-wise. He is slow, and J-Mac took advantage of it with the head-first slide. Nice stolen base.
And Joe Girardi behind the plate. There's strike 3 called as David Cone makes it a moot point. Cone strikes out 2 more in the inning. He now has 5 Ks in the game at the end of 2.5. 1-0 A's. Chris Berman's fairly popular here in New York. One of his longer nicknames. Scott Brocious steps in. Brocious in the lineup tonight after sitting out last night when the A's were beaten 7-0. They lead 1-0 so far. First inning ground out by Matt Stairs. Brought in Ryan Christensen. Gil Heredia as Brocious lunging, and the count is 0-2. A terrific first year for Scott Brocious, one of the Yankee 5 All-Stars this year.
He had a great September. He could reach the 100 RBI plateau. That would be quite a season. Going into a free agent season, he doesn't think he's going to be back next year with the Yankees.
Well, that at bat went quickly as Gil Heredia strikes Brocious out on 3 pitches.
A couple of breaking balls, then a fastball to the outside corner. Pitch moving out. It's one of those, well, you take a chance 0-2, maybe waste a pitch, but instead he gets the outside corner, and Ed Hickox knew it. Scott didn't think so. That ball's outside.
Apparently not, huh? And the reason Bro may not be back with the Yankees next year, Ray, is they have a hot prospect in the minor leagues who played at AAA this year named Mike Lowell, who they are certainly going to give a chance to win the job in the spring. You know, there may be some changes. Brocious may be moving out, as you mentioned. Joe Girardi in the final year of his deal, with Jorge Posada clearly taking over as the heir apparent behind the plate. Girardi now sharing time, and if he wants to play every day, he's going to have to move on.
Scott was also saying that some guys on the Yankees they have to sign or think about signing. Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte. Guys are going to be commanding a lot of money.
Bernie Williams.
Yes.
As Ed Sprague throws out Joe Girardi 2 away. Derek Jeter just got a nice contract extension, so he's locked up for a little while. Well, actually, they're still discussing it, but they're probably going to sign him to a 4-year deal in the neighborhood of $24 million, which is Garcia Parra money. All indications are he will re-sign. Chuck Knobloch, though, Ray, has the ability to get out of his contract with the Yankees and force them to trade him at the end of the year. Be very intriguing to see what he does.
Well, I was asking him about that, and he said it's not going to be a problem. He's not worried about it. He doesn't care about it. He's going to be here. He wanted to come here, so it's just a matter of right now the way they assign the contract. He's technically still under a Minnesota Twins contract, but then that will change 15 days after the end of the season. And it's just a matter of whether they pay for him to waive that right, renegotiate. They have a number of options they can do, or things they can do. But needless to say, he wanted to come to a winner. He came here, and he doesn't want to leave.
Oh, 1 pitch to Knobloch, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Gil Heredia, one time through the Yankee order, has pitched superbly, allowing only a base hit to Derek Jeter. One pitch. Knobloch lifts down the first base line. Giambi coming over is going to have room before he hits the tarp. He makes the play. And it's a quick 1-2-3 again for Heredia. And at the end of 3 full from the stadium, it is 1-0 A's.
6:15, and the Labor Day weekend highlight will be right after the game. A Pyro Spectacular fireworks show brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal and Safeway. Remember, kids' tickets are just 98 cents. So call Bass today. Call them now at 510-762-BALL.
Don't wait another moment.
No.
Dial it right now. Big weekend with the Beanie Baby giveaway on Sunday and the Pyro Spectacular on Saturday. Matt Stairs picked up his 8th RBI of the road trip, his first time up. This one he lashes. You got to be awake down the line there. Very tight here at Yankee Stadium.
Was that ball boy diving for the ball,
He
or
was
trying
diving for his life?
Yeah, trying to get out of the way.
Very smart move, actually, to get out of the way. Right down those lines. We're in the area of the tarps. Very close to the box here. 0-2 pitch. And Matt Stairs takes a borderline pitch. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stairs with the RBI ground out now has 97 driven in. David Cone has allowed 3 hits and only the 1 run through 3. Here's his 1-2 pitch. Ooh. Inside, and again a little bit up. but Ed Hickox gives Cone strike 3.
Well, I think the height is the question. I mean, that's several inches above the waist, which in today's standards is not a strike.
Man, David Cone has struck out 6, and strike 3 has been called 4 of the 6. Ben Grieve wisely jumps on the first one and rolls it foul. Well, the A's, Ray, you mentioned the Tampa Bay series coming up this weekend. Good warm-up tonight, seeing David Cone and all of his assortments of pitches and arm angles, because on Friday night the A's are going to see one of Ben Grieve's top competitors for American League Rookie of the Year, Rolando Araujo. Although Araujo has had a very poor second half of the year, he finally won a game in his last start, but overall he has had a very good season. Ben broke the bat. Araujo will pitch on Friday night. Also El Duque, although he did not make his first start with the Yankees until early June, has pitched just brilliantly, and he has got himself into the Rookie of the Year race. And really, I think, Ray, personally, it's between El Duque and Ben Grieve. I think Araujo's poor second half has caused him to fall off.
Well, personally, I don't think there's any choice other than Ben Grieve, just because he's played every day. He's put up the numbers. Sure, he had a little bit of a down spell, but he's come back.
Tino Martinez will flip. Cone covers, and Ben Grieve is retired, 2 away.
I think unless a rookie pitcher comes out and blows everybody away with some outstanding numbers, a player who plays every day and especially puts up good numbers has to be the favorite. And I'd say 291, 15, and 77 at this point is pretty good numbers.
And for the sake of comparison, El Duque is at 9-4 with a 3.15. He's allowed only 90 hits and a 111 1/3. Here's Bornegal. And your point is well taken. The position player certainly should get the edge there, but El Duque does have a couple of things working in his favor. One being New York and the media capital here, and 2 being the fact that he's playing on a team that may be the best of all time. But the pitch misses to Bornegal. It's 2-0.
You know, sure, the East Coast media, but still, all the teams vote, all the writers vote. So I mean, all these writers have seen Ben Grieve play throughout the season.
There's a strike to Bornegal. Well, that's true, but a lot of what the people voting around the country see and read come from New York, and that's certainly where the bias comes into play. And there's no question that there is an East Coast bias in these matters. A lot of Ben's games are just not seen for a lot of the voters in the other time zones. Count is 3-1 on Bornegal. Bornegal lined out to short. David Cone pausing there, and he missed. So Bornegal is on base. Cone with a glare into Ed Hickox. He has to be joking with the calls he's been getting tonight.
Well, if you're David Cone and you're getting those called strikes and you throw a pitch and he doesn't call it, that's what he's questioning, because that pitch to Bornegal was the same height as the one that he called out Stairs on.
Here's Sprague. Only 1 hit on the road trip, and that came Monday at Jacobs Field. Cone again working him away. These guys were teammates, of course, 2 separate times with the Blue Jays. As Cone played with the Jays, the end of 1992, was in on a championship club there, and then he returned to begin 95 before coming to the Yankees. Cone will go for a walk here to regather his thoughts as he falls behind Sprague. 2-0. He got the first 2 outs, then he walked Bornegal on 5 pitches. There's a strike. The very bottom of the zone. 2-1 to Sprague. Wells and Cone. Pedro Martinez. and Roger Clemens are your top candidates for American League Cy Young. Pretty much a toss-up right now. I think the final month will decide that, as will the Rookie of the Year. Getting back to that, a lot of baseball yet to go, but David Wells has had a remarkable season with one perfect game already in the books. He flirted with one last night through 6 2/3. He is 17-2, David Wells. Oh, strike 3 called. Well, I guess the glare for David Cohn worked as he got the very bottom of the zone on 2 pitches to Sprague, and he strikes him out looking. 1-0 after 3.5.
It's 12:15, and it's final time this year that you can see Cal Ripken, Mike Bordick, and the rest of the Baltimore Orioles. Double Play Wednesdays feature Upper Reserve tickets for $1 and hot dogs for $1. For tickets, call Bass today, 510-762 ball.
And that will wrap up the A's 5-game homestand. The New York Yankees last year under Joe Torre with 96 victories, won 92 the first year, and they are poised to get 100, and who knows how high they will go this year. If the Yankees go 18-8 in their last 26 games, including this one, they will win 117. They will break the record of the 1906 Cubs for the most wins any one year. One pitch, and Derek Jeter bounces out to Ed Sprague to open the Yankee 4th. Now keep in mind, the 1906 Cubs played only 152 games. So the Yankees could get the all-time win record, but the percentage is not going to be there. The 06 Cubs played 763 baseball, and the Cleveland Indians, of course, hold the record for the American League, and they had 111 victories. So certainly both of those are easily obtainable.
What happened to those two teams in the World Series?
They lost.
Thank you.
They both lost.
They lost, as John.
06 Cubs were beaten by the Chicago White Sox, and then 48 years later, of course, the Indians lost to the New York Giants.
The White Sox were the hitless wonders that year, weren't they?
In the air to left field, and Jason McDonald's got it. What do you mean hitless wonders?
Oh, they just went out and just ran to death. They ran them. They did not hit very much that year. The Yankees aren't hitting very much off Gil Heredia either. 5 pitches in the second, 9 in the third, and only 3 here in the fourth so far. As I mentioned earlier, he's around the plate. The Yankees realize that, but he's got good enough movement on his pitches that when they do swing at it, they're not going very far.
Bernie Williams, the batter. Heredia has not been perfect so far, but nearly, allowing only the Derek Jeter single back in the first. Bernie Williams looking back and talking to Ed Hickox after swinging and missing at the first one. '61 New York Yankees, of course, one of the best clubs in their history, as they won 109 games, and they did win the World Series. This is the best Yankee record at this point of the year, and again, they can make American League history tonight if they get the win, but they're having a hard time with Heredia, who has been, look at that, 27 of his 33 pitches have been strikes. He is having a superb outing. We mentioned how David Cohn early in the game looked a little uncomfortable on the mound after the 2-hour and 14-minute rain delay. Heredia has not. He has these Yankees off balance. 0-2 pitch. Well, Bernie gets into this one. Right center and well struck, and that ball's off the wall. Bernie Williams will get to second base. Nice play by Christensen. It is a 2-out double for Williams. Just missed a home run. So Heredia can get out of this now by getting Tino Martinez.
Well, if you're going to throw an 0-2 pitch inside, it needs to be off the plate. We talked earlier also about pitching inside to the left-handed hitters here at Yankee Stadium. He tried. Boy, that's when you have to really bear down and get it inside, almost like a waste pitch. Or if nothing else, take a chance for it to come back. These are the 3 pitches, the breaking ball, swing and a miss. And throws a fastball. He fouls back, but look inside. That pitch almost came down the middle of the plate and almost left the park.
Tino Martinez. Certainly overlooked this year. Does not have the glittering numbers, but still he leads the Yankees in RBIs with 106. He has fallen off dramatically in home runs. He's down to 24 after hitting 44 last year, second highest figure in the league to Ken Griffey Jr. There's a good pitch by Heredia. Count is 1-1 strike. Bernie Williams in scoring position. Tino hit a home run last night. A towering shot out to right center. That came in the 7th inning. Count is 1-2 strikes. So Heredia now 1 strike away from getting out of this and leaving Bernie Williams in scoring position.
You like to see hitters shaking their heads or turning back to look at the umpire, ask the umpire. That means that Gil Heredia has made some very good pitches so far in this game. Through a splitter. The 1-1 pitch to Martinez that he fouled straight in the ground.
Got him reaching, good pitching. Heredia picks it up and shovels it over to Giambi to get Tino Martinez. So Bernie Williams just missed a home run by about 6 feet. And because of that, the Yankees don't score in the 4th. Still 1-0.
For the rest of the 98 season, tickets for kids 14 and under are just 98 cents. Subject to availability, the deal is good for tickets on all levels for all games. The A's 98 for 98 deal is available at the Coliseum box office and advanced ticket centers. Call 510-762-BALL.
Only 11 more chances to check out Miguel Tejada and Ben Grieve in their rookie years. A's will, after tonight, have 22 games to go. 11 at the Coliseum, 11 on the road. Miguel Tejada takes a strike from David Cone to open the A's 5th. Gil Heredia has outpitched Cone so far, allowing only 2 hits. A Derek Jeter single in the 1st and a Bernie Williams double off the top of the wall in right center in the 4th, but Gil pitched out of it by getting Tino Martinez in a comebacker. 0-1 pitch to Miguel. Waves at that slider by David Cone.
That's the slider that Cone will start in the middle of the plate. It looks so good. Unless you can pick up the spin and know it's going to be out of the strike zone, you're going to have a hitter do exactly what Tejada did. That's why it's important for a hitter to try to pick up the spin out of the pitcher's hand when he throws the baseball. You'll see a little dot which indicated is the slider. But Cone is such a master at starting that pitch middle of the plate away.
And he will throw that slider, which breaks away from right-handers a lot more often to righties than he will lefties. Count is a ball and 2 strikes on Tejada. Miguel struck out his first time up. Got a piece of this one, shallow right center and dropping. That will be a base hit as Knobloch cannot get it. It is a leadoff single for Miguel Tejada here in the A's 5th.
Well, A.J. Hinch will have a chance now to retake the lead in sacrifice. Sacrifice bunts. He and Mike Bordick tied at 13. Is that still Bordick at 13? I know Hinch was there.
He is tied with Mike Bordick at top. Ray with 13 sacrifice bunts. Gary DiSarcina, Mike Benjamin, Mark McLemore all have a dozen.
All those middle infielders except the A's catcher.
Trying for number 14. He takes a strike. Joe Girardi coming up ready to throw. Girardi, Ray, who was thought to be the better defensive catcher in the matchup between he and Posada. His numbers this year throwing out base runners are not nearly as good as Posada's. You mentioned that Girardi catches Cone and Andy Pettit. That is a foul ball called by the plate umpire. Foul ball, and the count is 0-2.
Well, you have to say that in catching those two pitchers, Pettit with an outstanding move, a left-hander, but David Cone not such a great move, or at least not a great quick delivery to the plate. That's Jorge Posada that you just saw. Hey, Posada can swing the bat. They're going to drive in 100 runs between them probably for the season. Not a bad production from the catcher.
Oh, two pitch.
See if he does the attempt with the 2 strikes on the sacrifice.
The answer is no, at least on that one. Girardi blocking it. Girardi coming into the game had tossed out 15% of attempted base stealers, while Posada's number is 38. One of the best figures in the league. A's already have 1 steal tonight. Jason McDonald stole second in the 3rd. Tejada not going, and the 1-2 strikes out A.J. Hinch. Well, that was a nasty pitch. 1 away in the A's 5th. Strikeout number 8 tonight for David Cone. Only Randy Johnson and Roger Clemens have struck out more this decade.
Well, it's a nasty sinker, I think, right there. Not so much the splitter, at least. It was a splitter. He just threw it more of as a changeup with a little downward movement.
Now, you mentioned the influence of Jimmy Key on David Conray for many years, and he did back off of the strikeouts. He used to be a very high strikeout pitcher in his younger days with the Mets. And last year he returned to striking out batters, struck out 222, which was the 3rd most in the league. Coney Island. I love it. They've got 8.
David Wells last night, they had cans of beer.
Now, Coney Island, I'm looking for the hot dog from Nathan's. I don't see any of those up there. One-0 pitch. And the count goes 2-0. With his 8 tonight, David Cone has struck out 172 this season. Mel Stottlemyre knew David Cone as a young man, his pitching coach, when David broke into baseball with the New York Mets. He broke in at the major league level. Of course, he came up with the KC Royals, pitched there just briefly at the end of '86 before going to the Mets in '87, and then in 1988, his first full year, he won 20 games, 20-3 that year. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jason McDonald. Miguel Tejada, for the first time, was moving on the pitch. Art Howgad going to the hit and run, and the count is now 2-2.
Had a good count of the 2-1 pitch, although Cone, as A.J. Hinch found out, sacrificing is not very easy, and Jason McDonald found out that on a 2-1 pitch, which usually is a pretty good hitter's pitch, Cone has such an assortment to throw, and especially on a hit and run, he got the split finger fastball.
Tino Martinez holding on to Tejada. And David Cone will snap one over. Now, with 18 wins this year, Ray, David Cone has a chance to get back to 20 wins. Since his 20-3 season in '88, he has won double figures every year, but he has not gotten back to 20. That pitch misses, and now the count goes full 3-2.
And he'll join, if he does, Jim Cott, the longest time between 20 game wins or seasons.
Yeah, Cott went to 8 years between a 25-13 mark with the Twins in '66, and then he came back and went 21-13 with the White Sox 8 years later. Of course, Tejada's moving on the pitch. This is ball 4. First and second, as Cone walks Jason McDonald, Miguel Tejada into scoring position.
Well, the one part of the game that David Cone does not like, and the walks. Takes a lot of pride in being able to throw strikes, very similar to Greg Maddux, who, by the way, lost tonight to Randy Johnson. Greg Biggio hit a 2-run home run off of Greg Maddux to make it a 3-1 game. And that was after the big unit sacrifice. He was showing some pretty good talents with his bat, deading the ball in front of home plate.
Yeah, that could have a big psychological impact on the postseason. The Houston Astros, Ray, are proving that they can play with and beat the Atlanta Braves.
Well, they're proving to themselves, that's for sure. Thinking of Greg Maddux and watching him pitch a little bit tonight, very similar way that David Cone comes up in the set position with the ball in front right there, and then changes the grip on the baseball depending on what he's going to throw. You're right in what you said earlier. Cone is not, and still not, very comfortable on the mound. Mel Stoudemire's pitching coach, you could see that he was concerned as well, but also knows that this guy is a veteran and knows how to correct himself.
And knows just how to fight through it. You could almost see him internally grinding with every pitch. Here's the 1-1. And even though he clearly is just not comfortable, look at his reaction after every pitch. He has still allowed only 4 hits and 1 run, and he has struck out 8 Oakland A's through 4 1/3. The great ones find a way to pitch effectively when it's just not in rhythm. Ryan Christensen singled against him in the first and came around to score. The game's only run so far on a ground out by Matt Stairs. That was back in the first. David Cone again overthrowing and showing little command here. The count is 3-1. Jason Giambi is on deck, and he possibly could have a shot with the bases loaded if Cone throws a 34th ball. Not a good ratio, very unlike David Cone. 3-1 pitch. Ryan got under that one. That was a very hittable pitch down the middle, and it will make the seats down the left field line, and the count goes full now.
One of the best pitches a pitcher can throw is a 3-1 batting practice fastball. The hitter gets geared for what he's looking for, high 80s, maybe low 90s fastball, but the pitcher takes just enough off to get the hitter out in front, as Christensen was on that 3-1.
What do you do with the runners here? Tejada at second, Jason McDonald at first. They both run well, and they do not go, and Christensen strikes out. 2 away as David Cone picks up strikeout number 9.
They did not challenge him with a fastball that time. Jason Giambi. The 3-2 pitch to Christensen. Girardi set up in the middle of the plate, got a splitter. That's the confidence David Cone has in his pitches. Look at this.
That's the thing here at Yankee Stadium. They have dueling strikeout totals all over the ballpark. Every section keeps their own total in their own way. Still booing Jason Giambi as he steps in now for a 3rd at-bat after breaking up the perfect game bid of David Wells. These Yankee fans extremely knowledgeable. They'll probably boo him for years here. They don't easily forget, do they?
They'll probably boo Jeremy Giambi when he comes in, thinking that's Jason.
Jeremy Giambi is a major leaguer after a tremendous year with the KC Royals AAA club, where he hit .372 with 20+ home runs. Made his major league debut last night, Ray, going 0 for 2, drew a walk and scored a run.
Jason said he talked to his parents, found out that Jeremy was being called up to Kansas City, and did not know if he would make it in time to be able to be in the game, but indeed he was. Might see him there for a while. Kirk Robinson very pleased with the way Jeremy's been playing this season. Kirk Robinson, the general manager of the Royals.
This ball's pulled sharply foul. Jeremy played collegiately at Cal State Fullerton, and again the batting average there was .372. He led all of minor league baseball this year in on-base percentage. David Cone needs a strikeout to strike out the side. It would give him 10 for the game. And most importantly, it would get him off the hook here. First and second, and 2 outs. Tejada at second, and Jason McDonald at first. 1-0. The A's on tap, but looking for more, and they're not going to get it. Strike 3 called. 10 Ks for David Cone. Halfway through this one from the Bronx. Still 1-0 A's.
My goodness! Kentucky Louisville, Saturday at 12 on Fox Sports Bay Area.
Oakland Athletics Baseball on Fox Sports Bay Area is sponsored in part by Southwest Airlines. With Fare Solo, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest Airlines. And sometime tonight, the Oakland A's will be flying back towards the Bay Area, but
How about tomorrow morning?
Wow.
Tomorrow
Well,
morning.
it depends what time zone you're on.
We'll leave tomorrow morning. That's for sure.
Not Maui. It'll be happy hour. Here's Darryl Strawberry swinging at the first one from Gil Heredia. Heredia has been extremely impressive. He has allowed the Yankees only a couple of base hits. Derek Jeter with a 1-out single in the first. Bernie Williams with a 2-out double in the fourth. But it appears he's going to need every bit of it as David Cone, although squirming on the mound, has struck out 10 Oakland A's already, and it is 1-0. Darryl Strawberry with a couple of big home runs against the A's this year. That game-tying shot off of Bill Taylor when the Yankees were in Oakland in early August. The Yankees have already won the season series, having won 8 of the first 10. The A's would like to win this game for a lot of reasons. This is their last shot to win here at Yankee Stadium this year. And like they did at Fenway Park in their last chance last Thursday night, they want to get the win tonight and get one here.
Let somebody else be the 100th victim on the New York Yankees this season.
Strike 3 called. Gil Heredia slips it in there to get Darryl Strawberry.
A.J. Hinch moving inside. Look at the ball come back over the middle of the plate, or at least the inside quarter of the plate. That's going to fool a lot of left-handed hitters.
Strikeout number 3 for Heredia. He has not walked anybody. He has had very good command and very good rhythm as he faces Tim Raines. Raines with great numbers against the A's this year. But not tonight. He is 0 for 2 in the game tonight after going 2 for 3 last night. Well, Heredia making it look easy here against arguably baseball's best lineup. Certainly it is baseball's most complete lineup from top to bottom. You got a guy like Scott Brocious right hitting number 8, who's got 17 bombs and 83 RBIs. Yankees have 8 players this year with 15 or more home runs. Scott Brocious, one of the top candidates for American League Comeback Player of the Year, along with Darryl Strawberry, along with Kenny Rogers.
Where did he go? He's back, that's for sure. Especially with his batting average, runners in scoring position. Back up where it was a couple years ago, 350 this year. But I still say the biggest thing for him is to see Kenny Rogers, one of 3 left-handed perfect game pitchers in the park last night. Tom Browning, along with David Wells. But Brocious brought over here to play defense, and that's taken such a burden off of him to where everything he does offensively is a bonus, and he has come through big time.
Actually, his offensive production this year has far exceeded his defensive production. He's had a rash of errors. We saw him at the Coliseum make 3 errors this year in one game, 3 in one game, and he has had some sloppiness defensively. 2-1 pitch he pulls, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brocious has made 22 errors at third base this year. Now Derek Jeter, playing at shortstop, has made only 9. How about Derek Jeter for most valuable player, huh? You look at his numbers. He's certainly in the category of Nomar Garciaparra. Doesn't have quite the home run total Garciaparra has. Jeter has 17, Garciaparra 29, but his defense has been better. Quick 1-2-3 for Heredia, getting Strawberry Reigns and Brocious in the end of 5. Still 1-0. A's.
For another American Airlines Flyaway Friday, game time versus the Tampa Bay Devil Rays is at 7:35, and a randomly selected fan at that game will win round-trip transportation for 2 anywhere in the continental U.S. courtesy of American Airlines. Something special in the air. For tickets, call the Bass baseball line at 510-762-BALL.
1-0 A's. We had to wait 2 hours and 14 minutes to get this game underway. A little precipitation in the tri-state area. A's didn't wait very long to score tonight, though. Matt Stairs drove in the only run of the game so far with a ground ball to second baseman Chuck Knobloch that brought in Ryan Christensen, who was on third base. RBI 97 for Matt. David Cone with 10 strikeouts tonight already.
Oh.
And look out down the first base line as Stairs getting the head of the bat out in front, rifled one. Boy, you are so close down that first base line. You better be alert. We're not going to allow you to play pepper here, but Matt Stairs can get on you quickly.
They even took more foul territory to add some seats down on the field level.
Here's one hit to Jeter. One away in the Oakland A's 6th inning. Matt 0 for 3 tonight, but his ground ball in the first.
Well, take a look
in the run.
Take a look at Matt Stairs now, because he says next spring you will not recognize him. He's going to work out with Bob Alejo all winter. He says you will not recognize me. He said I'm going to have a 32-inch waist. He said I'm going to be pumped. And he said look out, maybe Mac.
Well, let's hope he still comes back and drives at 100 and hits 30. I like the way he looks. I like his production.
Yeah, but
he wants more, huh?
Yep.
Ben Grieve takes a curveball strike.
Ben was saying, what was that? And maybe he was asking a question that as to what Girardi might have said, but I'm sure he knew it was a pretty good breaking ball.
Strike 2. David Cone with the 10 strikeouts. Now has double-figure strikeout totals for the 7th time this year and the 54th time in his career. Ben checks it. David Cone has so many ways to try and trick you with the arm angles and such, Ray, and occasionally he'll hold that front leg on you an extra beat or two. And with a guy like Ben Grieve, who also lifts his leg, he's trying to throw off Ben's timing. See him right there, pause. Ben got out in front of this one, but got jammed. And it will be caught by Paul O'Neill. 2 away.
Cone says the most difficult part of pitching is to be able to come up on that front, or the back leg in this case, his right leg, and balance. Hold the balance, not lean too far forward or too far backwards, to be balanced, and then push off that back foot to the plate. If you don't believe him, try it.
No,
stand on one foot.
That's the whole secret of pitching.
Right, the balance, and he does it so well.
That's where the leg strength comes into play.
He gets to it right there. That's the balance, and everything goes forward right to the plate.
Bornego pulls this one foul. David Cone, 35 years of age. He dropped something there. What did he drop, his wallet? He lost something.
He did.
Let's call him on the phone. What's your, oh, he got it. He's going to get it. What, his money clip? Oh, man. He dropped his cell phone. It's George Carlin. Karnak the Great. That one's caught by Knobloch off the bat of Bornegal. It is a 1-2-3 inning for the A's at the top of the 6th. Karnak, the great. How's this game going to end, Karnak?
When the A's host the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at 105, the first 15,000 kids 14 and under will receive a Peanut the Elephant Beanie Baby, sponsored in part by Planters Peanuts and Target Stores. This is an authentic Thai Beanie Baby that was retired in May, so Peanut is a collector's item. Tickets call Bass today at 510-762 ball.
And Joe Girardi swings at the first one here, Ray, and fouls it off down the first base line. Is the bat okay? Can I continue? He's hit well against the A's this year. Overall, Girardi hitting about .280. And may I suggest that you arrive early on Sunday to pick up that Beanie Baby Peanut. We'll go quickly. The last time the A's had that promotion, they drew over 46,000, so it could be a big crowd on Sunday. There's a nice change of speed there, and the curveball by Heredia. 0-2. On Girardi, the number 9 hitting Yankee catcher. Then it's the top of the batting order, Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter. We mentioned Rolando Orojo will pitch for Tampa Bay tomorrow night. Jimmy Haynes, or pardon me, on Friday night, although technically the East, it's almost tomorrow night. Jimmy Haynes will go on Friday. Kenny Rogers versus Tony Saunders on Saturday. And Tom Candiotti versus Julio Santana. He'll go on Sunday. Santana's pitching extremely well for Tampa Bay. Girardi chases. He strikes out. A.J. Hinch will throw him out, and there's the first out.
Great play by Giambi at first, and also A.J. Hinch, of course, blocking the ball. With the runner going down the baseline, it's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and you need to clear the runner. And Giambi does a good job. He's in foul territory, which is outstanding. Instead of standing on the bag in fair territory, it was easier for Hinch to throw the ball down the first base line in foul territory. So a good adjustment by Giambi.
What an outing here for Heredia. He has not walked anybody. He's allowed only the 2 hits. 1 to Jeter, 1 to Bernie Williams. He is pitching a masterpiece here at Yankee Stadium. There's a strike to Knobloch.
You could probably compare what Heredia is going through tonight in his mind is what David Wells went through last night, going for the perfect game. And Art House says just keep on going. 1 run, let it be enough.
And especially in this ballpark where the Yankees have only lost 13 games all year. And against this lineup, the Yankees, one of the best offensive clubs in all of baseball. They now lead the league in batting average. They are number 1 in runs scored. They are number 2 in hits. They are number 4 in the league in home runs. They're number 1 in walks and number 1 in on-base percentage. They're number 2 in stolen bases.
In other words, they're pretty good, aren't they?
They're pretty good. They are difficult to hold down. And through 5 1/3, Heredia is giving them nothing. This one's in the air to left, pretty well struck. Jason McDonald's going to have room, though, out there in Death Valley again. That's where they got Darryl Strawberry in the 2nd. They retire Knobloch here in the 6th.
Guess where that ball would have been at the Coliseum. That's 399 feet in the power alley and left center field here. Coliseum, it's a tie game.
Coliseum 362 in the power alleys. In fact, they are the shortest alleys in all of baseball.
So where it's supposed to be a pitcher's park because the large foul territory, maybe it's not because of the short power alleys.
And then conversely here, of course, you have the home run porch down the right field line, only 314 feet. And also if you hit it down the line to left, it's only 318, but very deep alleys here. You need to be a down the line type of hitter. Derek Jeter singled to center his first time up. Then he bounced to third. Jeter hitting a .334 this year. Last year he hit .291. The year before, his first full year in the major leagues, he hit .314. Of course, that year he was the unanimous American League Rookie of the Year.
Got a pretty good friend that's having a decent season also, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez with the Mariners.
Heredia pushes Jeter back, and it's 1-2. A-Rod, just about any moment here, Ray, is going to join Barry Bonds and Jose Canseco and be a 40-40 man.
A.J. Hinch wanted the pitch up. It was also in to Jeter. A couple of pitches inside that he's fouled off. Going way outside here.
And he hits it sharply into the second deck foul. Alex Rodriguez with 38 home runs and 38 stolen bases.
Shortstops, those light hitting, good defensive shortstops. Jeter, Garcia, Parra, and A-Rod. Unbelievable.
Now, Joe Torre was talking about that before the game. In his day, they had a guy named Ernie Banks who wasn't too bad. Ernie has the all-time record for home runs by a shortstop with 47. This one's up the middle and a base hit for Jeter. He's 2 for 3. Hit number 3 off of Gil Heredia keeps the Yankees 6th alive for Paul O'Neill. Jeter may be the teen idol around Yankee Stadium. When he steps in, they all shriek and scream. But when Paul O'Neill steps in, they get serious. This guy, undeniably, although Jeter and Bernie Williams are younger and quite possibly on to very special careers, Paul O'Neill is still the glue on this team.
You could put Paul O'Neill in the category of Albert Bell. Every at-bat is like his last. Very intense in every at-bat, never gives one away.
Jeter with 25 stolen bases this year. He is second on the Yankees to Knobloch, who has 26. And he also has an outstanding percentage. He's only been caught 6 times this year. Paul O'Neill begins his at-bat by taking ball 1. Yeah, the New York Yankees have it all. They have the power, and they had the speed. An American League record with 5 players in double figures and steals and homers. The 1991 Cincinnati Reds have 6. But the Yankees may get there. Chad Curtis is 1 homer away from making it 6. Count is 2-0 to Paul O'Neill. There are those that have made the point that the Yankees may have the best win total in the history of baseball when it's all done, but that they will not be considered one of the truly great clubs because they don't have a great player. But they have several that are obviously well above average. I mean, every guy in this lineup tonight, Ray, is an all-star or has been an all-star with the exception of the catcher, Joe Girardi. Maybe Jeter will be a Hall of Famer one day, maybe Bernie, will be a Hall of Famer one day. David Cone has some more work to do to get there, but they are all well above average.
And, you know, you take a lineup 1 through 9 that's above average as opposed to 3 or 4 in the middle of the lineup that you depend on all the time to drive in your runs. I mean, this club can hurt you from 1 through 9. Makes it tough on a pitcher when you go through a lineup like this where there's no chance to catch your breath. I mean, every time you look in the on-deck circle, there's somebody else that's a good hitter.
Paul O'Neill with a count of 2-1. He's still on top, 1-0. Heredia got him. He picked Jeter off base. What a play by Heredia to get Jeter. The inning is over quickly. The Yankees don't score in the 6th. At the end of 6, it's still 1-0 A's. The pitching, a masterpiece here at Yankee Stadium, but he comes up with the defensive gem of the game here. Our Hoover pickup of the game as he picks off Derek Jeter at first base. A tremendous swing in the game as Jeter flinches towards second base, and Giambi with a tag, and Eric Clark with the punch out. Paul O'Neill was the batter, Ray, so what a tremendously big out that was for Heredia.
Well, they thought they could get him in the scoring position by stealing second, but with Paul O'Neill at the plate, you're already in scoring position. O'Neill's in scoring position with his potential to hit the home run ball. Great job by Heredia tonight. Boy, talk about matching a pitcher.
David Cone back to work here in the 7th, changing speeds on his former teammate Ed Sprague, and he has him down 0-2. Sprague has hit a comebacker and struck out looking, hitting .222 overall, and with the A's he is 10 for 72. David Cone with 10 strikeouts. Ed Sprague off the end of the bat to right center. Bernie Williams calls off O'Neill and puts it away. One away in the Oakland A's 7th inning. This program a little late in getting started, 2-hour and 14-minute delay, but still it is authorized. He came to New York, Fosse, with a winning percentage of only 47, but here with the Yankees, 92 wins, 96 wins, now 99, and however many they'll wind up with, he's over 500 for his career. There's a strike on Miguel Tejada. One ball and 2 strikes. David Cone, since walking Jason McDonald back in the 5th inning, has retired 6 in a row. And you talk to Torrey, and he'll tell you his team does not have a weakness. There's no question of that, Ray, but still the number 1 strength they have is the starting pitching. And you could send Wells out, and then Cone out, and then Pettit, and then Duque, and Hideki Arabu, and you know you're going to get 6-7 strong every single night. That's how you win.
And it looks like it's going to be Hernandez in the rotation instead of Arabu.
In the playoffs,
in the playoffs, right, postseason. But it's tough to make a decision when you have 5 or 6 guys that you can choose from. And this guy's going to be the leader. David Wells is going to be very good, if not great, but this is the guy they lean on.
Now, he's such a competitor and a great postseason pitcher. Did not pitch well last year in his 1 start against the Indians, but go back to their World Series win. And that Game 3 start he had against the Atlanta Braves, they were down 2-0, but he, in Game 3, won it 5-2, going 6 innings, giving up only 1 earned run, and that really turned the whole series around. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on A.J. Hinch. Arabu has really struggled. He got blasted here on Sunday by Seattle, going only 3 1/3. It gave up 8 runs. His worst ever as a starter. And over his last 3, he's been very poor. David Cone will make this quick work here in the 7th, getting Sprague, Tejada, and A.J. Hinch rapidly. We will stretch at Yankee Stadium and come back in the bottom of the 7th. Still 1-0 A's.
Saturday night at 6:15, and the Labor Day weekend highlight will be right after the game. A Pyro Spectacular Fireworks Show brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal and Safeway. Remember, kids' tickets are just 98 cents, so call Bass now, 510-762-BALL. Fireworks Saturday, Beanie Baby Day on Sunday.
Mike Stanton will begin to throw in the New York Yankee bullpen. David Cone has thrown 113 pitches and striking out 10 Oakland A's. He has not struck anybody out in the last 2 innings, although he's also retired 8 in a row. Now Stottlemyre is getting ready for the left-handed portion of the A's batting order. Jason Giambi, Matt Stairs, and Ben Grieve. Jason McDonald, the switch-hitting left fielder, will lead off, and Ryan Christensen. Then we'll see those 3 lefties. Right now we're going to see the Yankee lefty Paul O'Neill open the bottom of the 7th against Gil Heredia, who was quite quietly becoming a story with the Oakland A's of 1998. Guy who began the year at AAA with Edmonton, was really not considered for a spot in the rotation because he did not pitch real well in the spring. He had a sore arm, in fact, and didn't come close to making the club. It wasn't until his 2nd or 3rd start at Edmonton that he said that he began to get comfortable there. Right around the time the A's brought Blake Stein up to the big leagues. Blake, incidentally, now is pitching out of the A's bullpen, with the off days piling up in the next week or so. O'Neill reaching. Ed Sprague will come over, but he runs out of Yankee Stadium.
And there's where Gil Heredia is saying, why weren't we at the Coliseum? That's an out. That's the difference in the foul territory here. A lot of foul ground behind home plate, but not down the lines. And that's the difference. Both your foul balls are hit down the left or right field lines. Many times in the dugout area, but it disappears quickly.
1 ball and 2 strikes on O'Neill. Bernie Williams and Tino Martinez, the heart of the Yankee order, due in. Oh, what a pitch by Heredia. Gobbles up Paul O'Neill. 1 away in the Yankees 7th.
Heredia just keeps mixing his pitches. Good split finger fastball on that strike 3 call, or strike 3 swing and miss out of the strike zone. David Cone has to be thinking back to last night when he was sitting on the bench watching David Wells and the run support that Wells got early in the game.
Well, David Cone has gotten his share of run support throughout the year. The most run support of any starter in the American League. Coming in, the Yankees had averaged more than 7 runs a game when he has pitched. Now, the night against Heredia, they have nothing. Bernie Williams has 1 of the 4 hits. Pardon me, the 3 hits. The A's have 4 hits. The Yankees only have 3. 2 by Jeter, and Bernie Williams came very close to hitting a home run his last time up. This one he pulls foul. He hit a shot off the right center field wall. He had to settle for a double, and with 2 outs, he was left stranded. Number 1 in batting average, as we mentioned, number 1 in walks, and number 1 in runs scored. And they're number 1 in almost every category. They're also number 1 in ERA. When you go 99 and 37, you're number 1. Although over the last couple of weeks, the Yankees have played 500 ball. They were 92 and 30, and on pace to win 122. But over the last 14, they have won 7 and they have lost 7. 1-1 pitch. Got jammed. Great pitching by Heredia, putting on a clinic here as he throws out Bernie Williams, going right through the heart of the Yankee lineup, and he has these guys right now bewildered as to how to get on base against him.
Well, the difference in that pitch and the one in the previous at bat when Bernie Williams almost tied it, he got the ball in, and by jamming him off the plate instead of taking the chance of the ball coming back over the middle of the plate where he hit the ball off the wall.
Most of Heredia's major league experience with the Montreal Expos. He pitched for them for 3.5 years. Tail end of '92 after the Giants waived him. And then he pitched in Montreal '93, '94, and '95. Mostly out of the bullpen as a long man. There's the 0-1 pitch to Tino. Again, got in on him. This one dropping, and it will land for a base hit in front of Ben Grieve. But again, he allows the 2-out hit. 3 of the 4 hits he has allowed tonight, Ray, came after he got the first 2 outs of the inning, and in each time he was able to get the 3rd out. In fact, last time he got the 3rd out by picking Jeter off base.
They get another good pitch. It's just the outfield had it played deep, respecting the power of Tino Martinez trying to take away the extra base hit, and that's the only reason that ball dropped in.
Darryl Strawberry will step in. He hit one of the deepest drives of the game off of Heredia, driving Jason McDonald back against the wall in deep left center field. And later, Heredia struck him out looking. 1-0 A's lead. Strawberry takes a strike. Leads the Yankees with 24 home runs. He and Tino Martinez each with 24. 0-1 pitch, just missed. Joe Torre still figuring out how he's going to do it with Chili Davis back and healthy. Ray, although not available tonight against a right-hander, having a hard time swinging from the left side. Now, one thing Joe said before the game, in the postseason, he likes Chad Curtis in left field, and very likely Darryl and Chili are going to have to find at bats splitting the DH spot, and Darryl will not be playing much left field. Curtis is just too good out there.
Yeah, he's a better defensive player. Not done a bad job swinging the bat either, but all of a sudden the Yankees have healthy players. And these guys on the roster.
Well, you also got tonight's left fielder, Tim Raines, who was on deck. He's in the mix. Count is a ball and 2 strikes on Strawberry. Tying run is on first base. Strawberry gets it past Heredia. Bornegal will make the play. It's a bang-bang. And they leave Tino Martinez on base. The Yanks don't score at the end of 7. And it's still 1-0 A's. And now for a look at what's ahead on Fox Sports News after the game. Let's go to the Fox Network Center.
Michelin presents this Fox Sports News Sports Break.
Hi, everyone. Along with Lauren Sanchez, I'm John Walls of Fox Sports News with this sports break. Chicago's Sammy Sosa continues his pursuit of the home run record, belting number 56 as the Cubs beat the Reds.
And Lakers Vice President Jerry West, who is considering retirement, has reportedly agreed to a new 5-year deal with the club. News, scores, and highlights nightly on Fox Sports News.
On your Fox Sports Net cable channel.
Today's pitcher, Gil Heredia, comes to Yankee Stadium and is completely holding down the mighty Yankees. The Yankees with no runs, only 4 base hits through 7 full. And one thing now we know for certain, David Cone will not be winning this game tonight. David Cone, who came into the game with 18 victories, has been lifted. The Yankees have gone to the bullpen. David Cone, after throwing 113 pitches, his first 7 innings of work, he struck out 10, and 10 of those strikeouts, all 10 came in the first 5. We'll turn things over to left-hander Mike Stanton, who is having a difficult season for the Yankees. He has been especially vulnerable in the home run category, having allowed 11 bombs in 65 innings of work. Seems like ever since he was given a 5-game suspension for beaning Eric Davis, and that really was a severe overreaction by the American League Ray to suspend him for 5 at all, was aftershocks of that terrible brawl they had here at Yankee Stadium earlier in the year. Mike Stanton has just fallen apart, and the Yankees need him to pitch well. He's been a great postseason pitcher for them and other clubs. He turns Jason McDonald around. The switch hitter will bat from the right side for the first time tonight. He struck out looking to open the game, but then he singled and stole a base and walked his last time up. 0-1 pitch. That curveball misses. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Like the Yankees will get Holmes and Nelson back. They're both throwing. Going to throw again on Friday.
That would be Darren Holmes and Jeff Nelson, a couple of right-handed relievers that the Yankees are hoping to have activated back on the roster for their series in Chicago this weekend. They are both out with back injuries. 1-2 pitch. McDonald to Tino Martinez. Fair ball. They have to hustle. Stanton covering first quickly, and he beats Jason McDonald. Nice play by both Tino Martinez and by Mike Stanton. 1 away.
That reaction by Stanton, because a right-handed hitter hitting the ball on the right side, you don't have a tendency to break as quickly because it's not a left-hander. Left-hander, you're reminded, get over on a ground ball hit to the right side. But a right-hander hitting it, a little bit different, and he adjusted very well.
Right-hander Jim Bruschi just brought up today from AAA. Columbus begins to crank in the Yankee bullpen. The Yankees obtained Bruschi from the San Diego Padres in late August. Here's Ryan Christensen. He takes a curveball strike. Christensen has scored the game's only run. He singled off of David Cone to left field in the first, advanced to third on a base hit by Jason Giambi to right. Then he scored on a ground out by Matt Stairs. This one he gives a ride to left field. Tim Raines racing back, and he won't get it. It's gone. A home run for Ryan Christensen at Yankee Stadium. His 5th major league bomb, and another gopher ball allowed by Mike Stanton. And his 12 he has given up now this season, and the A's lead doubles. Gil Heredia now has a couple of runs.
Ryan Christensen, go get that baseball. That's a treasure there. Good, just golfed it. And it's only 318 right down the line. And that is a big blow. Get David Cone out. The A's able to put up another run for Gil Heredia.
Another curveball. Stanton throwing a lot of breaking pitches to start hitters.
Two of the 5 hits for the Athletics by Ryan Christensen. He scored both runs. And the second run, they try to get the fastball in, left it down, and he just dropped the head of the bat on it. Stanton providing the power, and a great swing by Ryan Christensen. Good effort by Tim Raines, but no chance. Big home run by the A's center fielder.
Oh, 2 pitch coming to Giambi. Fastball, he gets past him, and Giambi strikes out. 2 away in the A's 8th.
Good fastball outside. Look how far Girardi set up outside. He wanted to throw to that target and just barely crossed the plate, forcing Giambi to have to swing at a 2-strike pitch.
Well, Stanton can be a very hard thrower. The former Brave, Red Sox, and Ranger. Very important member of the bullpen, a left-hander along with Graham Lloyd. There are 2 main lefties out of the pen. There's a strike to Matt Stairs. There's Lloyd hanging out in the Yankee bullpen with Ramiro Mendoza. 1 ball and 1 strike on Stairs. Stairs drove in the first run by grounding out to Knobloch. That was back in the first. And now here in the top of the 8th and a couple of minutes past midnight, the A's have Mel Stottlemyre on the phone again to the bullpen.
Calling here. Did you hear it? The phone ring
Just rang. What does he want? He wants you.
No.
Wants you to warm up a pitcher.
Stairs wants to hit one in the 3rd deck here. He has that look of Tiger Stadium in the roof shot. Ryan Christensen hit it just the way you're supposed to hit home runs. Front row. Just get him over the fence. Front row. Hank Aaron did that a lot.
Yes, he did. Strike 3 called. And Stanton gets Matt Stairs. The inning is over. But Ryan Christensen has one to savor. A home run at Yankee Stadium. His first major league home run was at Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. He's hit a couple in Oakland. He had one at Camden Yards in Baltimore, and now he's got one at Yankee Stadium. Our Discover Card payback playback.
The old saying goes is you got to pitch inside. Don't make a mistake, because the ball can come back and a pitcher can get hit hard, as Stanton just found out.
And it's a big run. The A's were nursing a 1-0 lead from the very first half inning tonight. Now, after a 2-hour and 14-minute delay in getting this game started because of rain, this will make the long flight back to the Bay Area much more enjoyable. Buddy Groom, the left-hander, joined by right-hander T.J. Matthews, as Gil Heredia begins the bottom of the 8th inning. He has thrown only 76 pitches. Tim Raines has bounced to second, and he has also bounced back to Heredia.
Cohen 112 pitches through 7 innings, and Heredia just outpitched him, or did outpitch him for those 7. Cohen had the strikeouts.
And even though Gil has the low pitch total tonight, that is the reason why Art Howe and Rick Peterson have some bullpen activity going. There's a strike. 1-2 on Raines. After Tim Raines, it'll be Scott Brocious and Joe Girardi, the lower third in Joe Torre's order tonight.
You know, big credit so far to J.J. Hinch, because he has been mixing Heredia's pitches very well. That was a 1-1 split finger fastball that just floated in. Didn't have that much movement, but changed speeds very well.
Check swing. And the count remains 2-2 on the foul ball. And unlike David Cone, who really appeared rattled by the 2-hour and 14-minute delay, although Cone pitched well, he just never settled into a nice rhythm, and thus the high pitch total. Heredia very calm from the beginning. In the A's clubhouse before the game, before the rain began falling, he thought he was going to start on time. He was lying on the A's couch in the clubhouse, listening to some music and just kind of relaxing, and he seemed to take that approach right into the game, Ray, even after having to wait over 2 hours.
Well, you think about his career up and down the 14 teams and winter ball, playing in Mexico, and this has to be a piece of cake for what he's gone through. Getting a chance to pitch at Yankee Stadium, and Mike Oquist would have been his turn, but instead it's Heredia. And he has taken hold and done a tremendous job so far. It'd be great to see him finish it out, at least through this 8th inning.
Oh. Borderline pitch there. And Ed Hickox, who has had a very wide strike zone, didn't like it. The count is full. Heredia has not walked anybody tonight.
He was giving David Cone the low fastball, the low pitches, and if you look at that from the side view, that's a pretty good pitch.
3-2. Raines right to Bornegal. He hit it hard, but Vornagall is there. One away in the Yankee 8th inning.
He talked about his control and confidence of pitches. Threw him a breaking ball, did not give in to it, and throw him a fastball in the 3-2. And even though he had an extra run lead, you might think that he'd throw the breaking ball 3-2 if he just had the 1-run lead, but he had an insurance run thanks to Ryan Christensen.
Rocha struck out looking and then popped to second. Sliding up on the bat like he was going to bunt, and Sprague playing even with the bag at third base. Oh, nice breaking pitch there. 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch. Rocha rips down the left field line, fair into the corner. J-Mac, oh, he had a good hop, but he bobbled it then. And Rocha will get into second base with a 1-out double. We'll see what Art Howe does.
Yeah, it's going to be Jorge Posada, first of all. Switch hitter to hit for Girardi.
One catcher will bat for the other. Yankees had Mariano Rivera up in the bullpen before Rocha's double. But their easy win last night, and they were off on Monday. They lost on Sunday. They're going to be off tomorrow. Rivera could use some work. Posada, although he has driven the ball a lot better than Girardi this year, has 16 bombs to Girardi's 3 and 57 RBIs to Girardi's 30. Actually has a slightly lower batting average than Girardi, but he is the more accomplished hitter. When Heredia goes right after him, we're wondering what Art Howe will do with Jorge Posada pinch hitting for Joe Girardi. Posada is a switch hitter, and he hits much better from the right side than the left, so they keep Heredia in the game. And he goes right after Posada with 2 in the dirt for a couple of quick strikes.
Well, Posada up there swinging like he wants to tie the game, but yet Heredia is throwing him breaking pitches. That comes off the bench. He wants to swing the bat. And Heredia, because he's used his assortment of pitches tonight, he's not just going to throw him the fastball.
0-2 on Posada.
It'll be the split finger fastball.
He lays off. Scott Brocious with Yankee hit number 5 tonight. But unlike 3 of the previous 4, this one did not come with 2 outs. It came with 1 out. So the Yankees do have a shot, or at least a little better shot. After Posada, it's the top of the batting order, and Chuck Knobloch. Setting up in, then moving away is Hinch. Posada did not offer. 2-2. Still a lot of people here at Yankee Stadium tonight. Had to wait 2 hours and 14 minutes for the game to get underway after the heavy rains. And here we are, midnight Eastern time. Coming in on 2-2. Ryan Christensen with a big insurance marker for Heredia in the top of the inning when he homered off of Mike Stanton. Now Brocious with a one-out double is on second base. The count is 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 8th. One out. Heredia to Posada, and he fouls it off third base side, top deck.
Posada taking a big swings in the first 2 pitches, but now he has shortened his swing. He's trying to make contact with a couple of strikes on him.
A.J. Hinch will go out for a quick meeting, trying to put this guy away. He's been tough after 2 strikes. Heredia got the first 2 quickly, but he's been battling since. Last night, over 29,000 were here. 29,632. A lot more would have been here tonight if it not been for the rain delay. We've got the all-knowing, the all-seeing, Karnak the Magnificent. What if Johnny Carson knows that George Carlin stole his Karnak headgear? 2-2 pitch. Count goes full. Knobloch is on deck. Knobloch is a right-handed batter.
Now, if you're Posada, do you look for the fastball and swing hard like you did in the first 2 pitches? And if you're Heredia, do you give him the breaking pitch? Remember, it's Heredia throwing Tim Raines a 3-2 breaking ball that he lined hard to Spezio.
Tejada's got it. Nobody covering second. As Bornegal gets in too late, otherwise Brocious may have been doubled up, but they get the out on Posada. 2 away. And that will be it. He battled right to the very end. He got Posada, the pinch hitter, out. And Art Howe's going to go to the right-hander here, as he has Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter due in. At least I believe he is. Usually he takes the baseball right away, and this time he is talking. And Heredia may be looking to stay on. Art saying, be honest with me, what do you got left?
I think he has enough to get Knobloch. I think that Heredia, he's going to go with TJ.
Yeah, we'll see. Heredia really had a battle to get Posada. They'll bring in a fresh arm now. A tremendous outing for Gil Heredia. 5-hitter through 7 2/3 at Yankee Stadium. They got their 9-game road trip, and after this one's over, they're going to be flying through the night to get home and take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in game 1 of a 5-game homestand. We'll have that for you here on Fox Sports Bay Area Friday at 7:30. And also, once we are done with this game, stick around for Fox Sports News. That'll be coming up at 10 o'clock. A complete wrap of the day in sports. Mark McGwire hit 2 more tonight. He has 59. Sammy Sosa also homer. They'll tell you about the Giants, the Cubs, the Mets. They'll give you it all. We got to finish in here. T.J. Matthews will make his first appearance since Saturday at the Jake, a game the A's won 11-6. He went 1 2/3, giving up a couple of hits and 1 run and a home run. Chuck Knobloch is his first opponent, and he starts him out with a fastball strike. Knobloch 0 for 3 against Gil Heredia. Bounced to second, fouled out to third, and flied out to left. Now T.J. Matthews is well rested, and the A's need him to be effective. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. He misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is Scott Brocious over at second base.
Well, the difference for the Yankee hitters now with T.J. Matthews as opposed to Gil Heredia. Matthews throws harder. He throws a fastball, he throws a slider, and occasionally the splitter. I doubt that he would throw that, but the fastball and the slider are almost the same speeds. There's not as much of an adjustment for the hitters.
Or if the A's can get these last 4 outs and win this game, this would be a nice road trip. They would go 4-5 through Boston, Cleveland, and New York, the 3 best clubs record-wise in the American League. 2-1 pitch. Just off the plate. Knobloch's not biting. On deck is the hottest New York Yankee, Derek Jeter, American League Player of the Month in August. And he has 2 hits tonight. 2 of the 5 allowed by Heredia, Derek Jeter got. 3-1. Knobloch into the top deck. Buddy Groom. He is up and throwing for Bernie Williams and later, or pardon me, Paul O'Neill, then later Bernie Williams and Tino Martinez, also Strawberry. And Bill Taylor's your closer. It'll be interesting to see who actually pitches to those guys. O'Neill, a lefty. Bernie Williams, a switch hitter. Tino and Strawberry, both left-handers. Knobloch again shoots it foul. And the count is 3-2. Yankees also have Chili Davis to use as a possible pinch hitter. Davis, a switch hitter, is able to bat from the right side. The former Twin trying to bring in the former Athletic. Knobloch again takes it foul down the first base side into the top deck.
Knobloch likes the fastball down low. He has golfed a few outs, similar to one hit by Ryan Christensen, so the fastball up was a good pitch. What a great job by Gil Heredia, especially keeping the pitch count down to 78 pitches through the 7 innings. David Cone, 112.
They go again on 3-2. Knobloch to right center. Ben Grieve will get it. As Knobloch chased what likely was ball 4, Heredia gets help from T.J. Matthews. The Yankees don't score in the 8th. It is still 2-0 Athletics.
A's baseball on Fox Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Discover Card, it pays to discover. By Hoover, nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. And by Fram Filters, pay a little more now or pay a lot later.
The New York Yankees need a new battery in the game. They're going to bring in Mariano Rivera. He's going to pitch the 9th inning as Rivera needs some work. He has not pitched in a week. His last outing was last Wednesday in game 1 of a doubleheader against the Angels. He has 33 saves. He has blown 5. Overall, he is having another superb season. Of course, down 2-zip. Not a safe situation at all. Jorge Posada, who came in to pinch hit for Joe Girardi, will take over defensively behind the plate for Joe here in the 9th inning. Hayes got a run in the first as Matt Stairs drove in his 97th run of the season, a ground ball scoring Ryan Christensen from third base. And then we had a great pitching duel between David Cone and Gil Heredia all the way to the 8th when off relief pitcher Mike Stanton, Ryan Christensen in his 5th major league home run, a big one here at Yankee Stadium. And then Heredia began the bottom of the 8th, got some good work out of the pen from T.J. Matthews. getting Chuck Knobloch out. Ben Grieve, they were playing off the line. Brocious, a jump shot to first, pulls Martinez off. And Ben Grieve has an infield single as Scott Brocious was playing well off the line at third base.
Trying to make a jump in mid-throw. Tino Martinez wisely coming off the bag to prevent the ball from going by him. Off the line, and he just took a fastball, tried to get it past him down the third base line. I think his momentum carried him so far. He even, had he been able to stop, I don't think he would have thrown him out.
We're going to have a pinch runner here. Bip Roberts will come in to run for Ben Grieve. So Bip is the base runner. Rafael Bornegal is also the hitter. Now let's see how Art Howe plays this. Bornegal, one of the better bunters on the team, also very good with the hit and run. Although I think the A's want that third run of the 3-zip lead. Bornegal is going to bunt, and the pitch misses. Rafael Bornegal came into the game for starter Scott Spezio. As Spezio appeared to re-aggravate that left knee that he had scoped in early June. Chuck Knobloch leading off the bottom of the first for the Yankees, hit a ground ball towards the hole, and Spezio ranging over to his left appeared to grimace in pain after buckling on the knee. Ooh, boy, Rivera's tough to bunt as he comes in hard, Ray, pouring in on your hands, and Rafael sliding up the hands on the bat, of course, to lay it down and to pull back quickly to get out of the way.
Hitters like to square around and look for the ball middle plate away to bunt. Rivera back-to-back pitches inside, hoping that Rafael Bornegal would put the bat down and pop up the bunt. Keeps going in there, he's going to walk it.
3-0. Now again, Rivera's not worked in an entire week. Yankees had a tough series with the Angels, losing 3 out of 5. There's a strike. And the Yankees won 2 out of 3 against Seattle this past weekend. And the Yankees are also off tomorrow before beginning a weekend series in Chicago on Friday night. So they thought they had to get Rivera in the game tonight. Vip Roberts, the runner for Grieve, trying to get down to the scoring position. Very close. But now Clark says safe.
Vip a little bit longer lead.
Ew.
And very close. His dive back, he seemed to have stopped. Getting a very big lead at first.
And this time they got him. Vip Roberts came into the game to pinch run, and he gets picked off base. And if he continues, Al Clark, Al will let him walk away. Let's see. He again went towards second, and this time they got him. No question about it. He's out.
And it looked like it was going to be the hit and run. Vip had started towards second, at least a slight flinch. And even though it got him up on the shoulder and then the head, his hand was not on the bag.
Bornegal now, and there is a walk. So had that happened in reverse order, of course, the walk first, he'd be down at second base now. A very tough break for the A's trying to go up 3-0. Giants light was going to come on right about now at 9:30 back in the Bay Area, but we have Fox Sports News coming up at 10 o'clock, so we're going to hold that, and we will have Giants light for you at midnight tonight. Glenn Kuiper will take you through all the exciting moments of the Giants today as they had a rollicking good time over at 3Com against the Montreal Expos. So now Ed Sprague will try to move Bornegal into scoring position, but the A's already are down 1 out. Looking ahead to the Yankee bottom of the 9th. It will not be easy. Derek Jeter is going to lead off, their number 2 hitter. And then you have Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams to follow. If any of those guys gets on base, Tino Martinez will bat. Here's a strike. On 2-0, Rivera hits the inside corner to Ed Sprague.
Billy Taylor is warming up, and as the closer, more likely to be coming in to face all those hitters that you just mentioned. For some reason, Rivera trying to stay inside part of the plate. And he's missed several in there. Usually he's the type that likes to go away.
This will be playable for Tino Martinez in foul territory. He retires Ed Sprague. 2 away. Sprague winds up 0 for 4 tonight. Miguel Tejada, as Bob Shepard puts it. Longtime public address voice of Yankee Stadium. But actually, during the rain delay, Ray, I popped into his little area over there. He's got the worst view of Yankee Stadium of anybody. You can hardly see in there.
All he needs to see is the hitter.
Is that it?
That's it.
He doesn't want to watch the game?
Reads his books. He always has a book in there that he's reading.
Well, he's a professor. Bob Shepard, longtime professor at St. John's University.
Well, he also has Eddie Layton in there playing the organ right in the room next to him. So, I mean, what
he doesn't need to see that.
No, he's been here.
As long as you have ears.
He's been here since Mickey Mantle had his debut here at Yankee Stadium. So he's seen enough baseball.
Straight back, Tejada, right into the press box here at Yankee Stadium. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tejada struck out, singled to right center, and then a comebacker. He's 1 for 3 in the game. A's only have 6 hits, yet 2 runs. Yankees no runs on their 5 hits. Two-one pitch. Off his foot. Ooh.
Like his back foot. Usually it's the front where he has the protection on his left inside of his ankle, but I think that went straight down on his back foot. Should be his right one, and yes, indeed. He's jumped back in there to hit a home run now. That'll ease the pain. Just trot around the bases. Rivera, as I mentioned, staying inside of the right-handed hitters, and he's just 4 down on the inside corner.
Rafael Bornegal walked. The A's were hoping to have him bunt Bip Roberts into scoring position, but Bip got picked off base. Tejada chased, and that pitch, the count remains 2-2. Of course, pickoffs have been a big story tonight. One of the huge outs of the game came in the 6th when Gil Heredia picked Derek Jeter off first base. That got Heredia off the hook in the 6th. That was out number 3 in the inning with O'Neill in the box, and Jeter, at the time, the tying run on base, he picked him off. 2-2 pitch. Miguel Tejada with a ride to left. Tim Raines is going to get there, though, and put it away. And the Oakland A's, after the leadoff single by Ben Grieve and a later walk to Bornegal, still don't score. 2-0 A's. Bill Taylor will face Jeter, O'Neill, and then Bernie. 3 more outs for the Oakland A's, and they will shut out the New York Yankees. The Yankees have only been shut out 3 times all year. Bip Roberts will stay in the game. He'll take over in left field after running for Ben Grieve. So Jason McDonald, who wasn't left, will slide across the field, and he'll go over in right field. And Ben Grieve already out of the ball game, and the A's will turn things over to Billy Taylor here to get these last 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Bill, 28 out of 32. in save opportunities this year. Save number 28 came on Saturday afternoon at the Jake, when he went 1 1/3, did not give up a hit nor a run, and struck out a couple of Cleveland Indians. So like Mariano Rivera, the Yankee closer, he is well rested. And he has a big challenge in front of him. 3 of the very best hitters in baseball. Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams will follow, but it will be Derek Jeter leading off for the Yankees. Jeter with 2 hits tonight, hitting at .335 on the season.
As a right-handed hitter, this is the key batter to start the inning, keep him off the base, because you have the left-handers to follow. And if Jeter gets on, then every hitter comes up is potential tying run at the plate.
Ball 1. Sharply foul, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on the Yankee all-star shortstop. Boy, it takes a lot to shut this lineup out like this, especially at Yankee Stadium. In fact, the Yankees have not been shut out at home all year. Beautiful pitch by Taylor. Strike 2 on Derek Jeter.
Couple of pitches inside, then threaded the outside corner. And Jeter thinking more inside.
All 3 Yankee shutouts this year on the road. 1-2 pitch. Reaching out, takes it to right center, and it will be caught by Ryan Christensen. 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. Obviously a huge first out to get rid of Jeter. Paul O'Neill, like Jeter, has had his career success against Billy Taylor, but tonight he is 0 for 3. Miguel Tejada. 1 pitch, and Taylor gets Paul O'Neill out. Now the A's are 1 out away from being the first team to shut out the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium in 1998. After last night's agony, this would be quite a reversal of fortune for Art Howe and the A's. Bernie Williams sizing it up as he steps in, making his own personal batter's box.
And it would be appropriate and great from the A standpoint that 2 of their 3 victories would have come against David Cone and Tom Candiotti, the other one. And what was wrong with that pitch? Ed Hickox has been down with the strike zone tonight. Started out high, but then has dropped down considerably throughout the game.
Ground ball foul. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bernie Williams. Joe Torre's team really has had for them a far substandard homestand. And if they lose this game tonight, they're going to wind up 5-5 on this 10-gamer. Yankees would fall to 99-38. The A's would wind up their road trip at 4-5. They would go to 64-76. The A's won 65 games all of last year, and with 22 to play, they would already have 64 this year. Still need a couple of strikes, 1 more out. The count is now 2-1 on Bernie Williams.
Yeah, you mentioned those numbers for the Yankees, especially in this homestand. Probably not a bad idea, because I think the Yankees realizing that baseball is such a strange game. Anything can happen. And they realize that it's going to be a tough roll all the way down.
This one's down the line. Foul. Just fouled in the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bernie Williams just missing a double instead now. He is down to his last strike. And so are the Yankees. Boy, after a 2-hour and 14-minute rain delay, this would be well worth it tonight. If they can get one more strike here on Bernie Williams and shut out the Yankees and deprive them of win number 100.
One with a slider.
Bernie Williams has got a base hit, and Chino Martinez will step into the batter's box representing the tying run. 2 hits for Jeter and now 2 hits for Bernie as they battle for the American League batting championship, something Joe Torre, of course, has on his resume. He won the 1971 National League batting championship with a .363. Chino Martinez. Martinez represents the tying run. 2-0 A's. Bottom of the 9th.
Bernie Williams is going to be able to walk to second if he wants, and he will.
Meanwhile, Chino flails at a sharp breaking Billy Taylor slider for a strike.
He went up there looking fastball first pitch, got the breaking ball. Now A.J. Hinch has to go out and discuss what pitch or what sign they're going to use, whether it be the second or third with the runner at second base.
Man, that home run by Ryan Christensen looms large now. He hit a home run off of Mike Stanton in the 8th to make it a 2-0 game. 0-1 pitch. Chino Martinez hits deep to right center field, but not deep enough. The A's win the game and shut out the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium as Billy Taylor picks up save number 29. Christensen a big home run, and Gil Heredia, what a masterpiece here at Yankee Stadium. The A's win it 2-0. For Ray Fosse, producer Jim Armentrout, and director Tommy Adza, this is Greg Papa. You've been watching the Oakland Athletics on Fox Sports Bay Area, your regional home of Fox Sports Net.